Welcome to Making Your Miles Count Production, an educational program to all Canadian lease owner-operators with your host, Robert Scaper.
Do you remember years ago the whole debate about population growth like crazy and there's not going to be enough food to feed everybody on the earth and stuff like that? That theory, okay. And because there's starving people in Africa, there's starving people here, and there's not enough food for everybody. Everybody's going to starve and die. Do you know how little of that there is today?
Mm-hmm.
We don't see that very much.
Mm-mm.
It's not that they're starving to death and emaciated belly and they're dying. The only reason why that happens nowadays is when governments basically decimate a place.
Yeah.
And isolate them so nobody comes there to feed them. That's the only government abuse like that. That's the only reason. There's plenty of food for everybody in the world.
But poverty, to buy it, is a problem.
Well, it could be, but we have the capability to grow all the food for all the people.
Yeah.
Well, they used to say there's not enough land to feed everybody. But our productivity on our land has quadrupled in the last number of decades. Yeah. And there's realistically the productivity is going to increase. Yeah. The poverty has actually there used to be way more poverty 40, 50 years ago than there is today. There's very little poverty. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's poverty, but man, that line just increases. People used to starve like crazy. Yeah. Now it's like, my cell phone doesn't work. I can't charge it. Well, that's what they think is poverty now. Like it's just it increases. So it's.
I heard a statistic, and I can't remember. It was a while back, and I hesitate to say it, but there was somebody saying that as far as the malnutrition in the world, there's enough calories grown in the world today, right now, that there should be nobody that goes without enough calories to survive. Yeah. We in Canada we're kind of hoarding a bunch of our calories.
Yeah, I'm hoarding.
Yeah,
a little bit of hoarding.
A little bit, but no, they were saying the biggest. The biggest problem is transportation and getting it to where it needs to be.
Right.
But
I remember what Elon Musk was on some late night something or other, and I think it was Bill Maher who said, yeah, but the world has got resources and we got limited resources. And Elon says, no, we don't. We have oil for hundreds and hundreds of years. We have food for hundreds and hundreds. We have nickel and mining stuff. We have more resources than we could possibly use in multiple generations. We're not going to run out of things. Right. What's going to happen, he says, before that happens, the population of the world is actually going to start declining because we've pretty much peaked. And China is now in the process of going down because they were well over a billion, and then they found out that they overestimated them, and then they had, remember, for several decades they had the one-child policy, and then they realized, we better do it because our population is the 35-40% of it is going to be seniors, and we can't sustain it at that. Yeah. So then they had the two-child policy, and then even in some places they were paying people to have more kids. But the Chinese people said, they looked at it and they said, I'm not going to have any more kids because I can foresee there's a great recession because we can't support all of the old people. That's all that,
well, it's 2 to 1.
Well, yeah. And so what in the world is going on? And so China is pretty much at the peak where it is right now. There might be some few things that they can push a little bit further, but they've pooched themselves pretty bad by having that one child policy for a number of decades. Yep. And once you start going down, even if you start going up again, it takes years and decades to start getting that number back up again. And so it'd be 50 or 80 years, maybe 100. And so much can happen by then. It's just ridiculous, Like so, there's if you take a look at what's happening in North America, even a lot of the non-conservative people are not having children, or they're having children really late in life and only one or two, something like that, and so they're not replacing themselves. Whereas the conservatives, and by conservatives I would put in there Hindu, Muslim, Christians, several others, like the more religious organizations, they're having many more children than the more, I guess you would call, left-leaning or liberal aspect of it. So if you look at the future where it's all headed, it is debatable the impact of some of the policies and understandings of the left. They're aging and they're not being replaced, and there's much more of a movement towards more the conservative religious organizations in there. So religious entities, I guess, and all religious entities in there. So it's, I don't know, there's a lot of things. So, but when we get by 2040, there's some things that are by the time we get to 2040, they're going to look back at 2020, 2024, and they're going to say, what kind of ding dong knuckleheads were they back then when they were saying that, what is a woman? I don't know. What is a woman? It could be anything you want. These guys were nuts. They're going to disavow us that we were even their ancestors.
Yeah.
Because some of the things are changing, and I don't know.
There's going to be
encouraged.
a massive shift.
Yeah,
I believe starting next year. I think the whole world is going to change, and very fast.
Yeah, you remember? I don't know if I already said this, but when Trump came in, the day after the election, the German Parliament declared a non-confidence and of some sort, and they're going through another election cycle because the non-conservatives were holding on to power, and as soon as Trump came in, they basically gave up. They says, "Okay, forget it. We're going to have an election." Something like that. I'm not an expert at this, but basically they threw in the towel when they seen the results of Trump. Trump election. That's astounding. That reminds me still of the Freedom Convoy and what happened just one day after the next and after the next. It swung huge things, and dominoes came down like unbelievable. Like every province within a few weeks opened up their crushed the mandates kind of a thing. Oh my goodness, the change that can occur. Honestly, I have never ever thought that protesting, that even elections make that much of a difference. But I have been definitely proven wrong. Because this level of change, this level of stuff, my heart, I tell you, when Elon Musk said there's 450 government agencies, and his goal is to reduce them to 99 and save $2 trillion in the federal budget. And that as an accountant, it brings tears to my eyes. Man, maybe that can happen in Canada. Maybe Canada can go from a.
I think it will. It's just it's gonna take a bit for it to catch up, but it will. It's coming this way too.
Can you imagine?
And I think what's
Canada, the federal government is the biggest employer in Canada.
Yes,
by far.
Yep.
And can you imagine cutting their payroll by half or a third? Unbelievable.
But I think it brings us back to what you said. Within the next year, there's going to be a huge shift. I think what I'm gonna use myself as an example. Me, a traditionalist who's been in an industry for a long time, got comfortable in a routine. I'm gonna have to realize in myself that, you know what, this routine is not sustainable in this economic world right now. I have to look at this industry and realize, okay, how do I shift and manage what I have to become better, more productive, and a better part of society in where we're going. Yeah. And the other thing is, where the heck are we going? Right?
We've been dealing with this for a year.
Yeah. Yes.
And more intensely in the last 3-4 months.
Yep.
How do we, and we were talking about it this morning again over coffee, how in the world what do we change? What can we change to make this ship better?
Because it's up to us. Like we are, like, I'm going to speak loosely for both of us, but we are the foundation. I would consider us the foundation of the trucking industry. Yeah. There's a lot of owner operators that have been in it to a long time, are established. We can go through these really tight spots. There's drivers that are financed to the point where these rate changes are killing them. Yeah. You know what, I can make it through this month because I had a good month last month. I can carry myself this month, hoping next month will be okay. You know, but they're terribly susceptible. Yep. But me and you we're looking at it and saying, okay, we see there's going to be a change. How do I position myself right now? And don't go into debt. But we don't go into debt, but where do we go? Like there's so many areas that are susceptible or options.
But there's another thing that somebody brought to my attention the other day. There's one passage in the book of Luke. It says when the disciples were going across the sea, and it says, and they got caught in a storm, and it says, and there's a little phrase that most people miss, and it says, and there was other little ships with them. Oh. Now, with you saying that, this guy said, you know what, Peter? There's a lot of people that are up and coming that are looking for direction from you guys. They're watching you. Yeah. How are these guys operating? Yeah. What are they buying? What are they doing to make this different? We have guys at our company that are watching the two of us like I did not know. And they're thinking, okay, what are those people doing? They're not complaining. They're doing the same thing we are. Yeah. So we have to be careful how we lead. Because there's people following us and watching us. I'm reminded of that all the time. Watch what you do. Watch what you say.
That's good. I talked to a couple drivers at work in the last month and a half, I guess. And we were kind of, things are crappy. And I said, you know what, guys, the only thing, luckily, both of us are in smaller, more specialized freight hauling companies. Okay. So, we're more susceptible, and yet we're kind of unique area where we get our freight. And yet it doesn't take hardly anything, as long as you can fog a glass and drive a truck, they can undercut us and we don't have a rate. Okay. And there has been a few companies that have gone to another company for $150 on a load. They're consistent loads, but $150. But I told them, I said, anybody can haul those loads. It's not that these loads are so difficult that only one person can do it. Anybody can do it. Just a little bit of practice. The only thing that's going to keep us in an industry or keep somebody coming back is that personal relationship. If they're looking for, this driver, I remember this driver, he is a helpful, he's this and that, and the next guy just stands and take your freight off, whatever. There's if it boils down to $150 this way or that way, pick him. I like this he's easier to work with if something goes wrong. So it's service.
But the stuff that we haul, Kathy and myself, you can't haul in a van.
No.
We're like, we have a low pro step deck. Most of the freight we haul, you can't haul it in a van.
No.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't even fit on a step deck. It doesn't fit on a highboy. Like, it's specialty freight.
Yeah.
So there is maybe a little bit less of it out there.
Right. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
But that's a demand that'll always be there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But it doesn't take much, because once you've driven a van for a while, then you realize, there's no money here. That's where the money is. I can watch a video and see how to chain something down. Like that. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not a barrier that's almost impenetrable. It can be. But the thing is, the customer's got 3 machines on the back of the trailer, and this is the second time that guy's hauled machines. Or somebody I've done this for 6 months for you guys. You've been on time, no warranty issues, no whatever. For $150. No, you go that $150 change. A lot of companies just don't want to take that risk.
No.
Yeah.
Especially like there was one. I was hauling a combine one time, and I had everything covered up. No, it was a loader, and somehow a stone got behind or in the edge of the window protector and bust out the windshield. And I got there, and the guy says, "You know what? It happens. Everything else was done right. He didn't flip out. You know what? It happens. Whatever. There's nothing we can do." I was so apologetic. I said, "What do I do? I'm so sorry." He said, "Hey, don't worry about it. That's what insurance is for." But we've hauled for them for a long time, but they know us, and it's that personal thing that if you can, you're not just selling a chain and a truck and a trailer.
Yeah.
So how do we if we advise truck drivers who are going to be in the industry for longer than 20 years, like 15 years from now, we're looking at 2040. What do we advise drivers to do? Probably diversify their understanding about the industry, so that they, like if a person is just driving van right now and it's just going pin to pin.
Yep.
The thing is learning your entire industry, learning your environment.
Yes.
Because at some point in time, that may elevate you into the next level.
It might open a door.
Compound competence, where you are competent in one thing, but now you have to be also competent in other areas. Make yourself more and more and more valuable. And that takes years to develop. And then at some point in time, if something changes in the industry significantly, number one, you're going to be the last person to be let go.
Yep.
And you're going to have the first potential opportunity that you are at least partially qualified for, and you can take that next leap. But if you don't invest in yourself at all, in understanding the industry and in learning stuff like this, then you are just fogging a mirror.
I wish I would have done that years ago.
Yeah.
But I was so stuck in that rut for 37 years, pin to pin. I'm still struggling with it now, doing what I'm doing. And what I'm struggling with the most is I pull the same trailer all the time, which I have a lot more downtime. So like now you come home and if your load goes to Winnipeg, I can't deliver till Monday. If we run like you do, I can switch trailers in the yard.
Yeah.
Somebody local guy can deliver the load. I can go on the next run.
Mm-hmm.
But we're stuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
That I like pulling the same trailer all the time, but it really castrates me.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Compound competence. That's for sure. I know. I'm dealing right now with human resources versus artificial intelligence. It sounds really bizarre. It sounds like I'm much smarter than really what I am. But my IT group and some of the advisors that I have, they're explaining, first of all, where the entire industry is going and stuff like that. But I'm having to trust technology, whereas before I always trusted people. Mm-hmm. That is, for me, that's a huge leap. That is a huge leap. It's a huge. We are all right at the trail end of baby boomers. We're at the right at the end of baby
the 60th
boomers.
cutoff. Right?
Yeah, right. At 60.
We're on the 62 model.
Yeah, what am I? I'm 61. So I still gravitate towards a person doing a job, as opposed to training a machine to do something. It takes way more time to train a machine, but once you've trained it, not only does it do it perfectly every time,
it's quick.
It's quick, but it actually, the way programs are, it can train itself for the next level and next level and the next level, and you just you increase the learning of the machine by data, and that is contrary to everything that is within me. There's another thing too that I've found that I've really struggled with, and that is the whole concept of virtual offices. Okay, we are like I said, we are baby boomers, and our mindset is, you want to talk to an accountant? Well, his office is over there. It's just around the corner. Go up these flight of stairs, whatever it is. Okay, it's a physical office, and that means I have to drop what I'm doing. I have to go there, give him a box of something or other, and then talk about my business. And that is not the future. No. Because the future is, first of all, it's all digital. You don't bring a box of anything anymore. Yeah. And then once everything is all processed, there's some key questions that a person has to. Why do you physically have to be there? Goodness sakes, you and your wife or spouse or whatever on your phone can intimately talk by FaceTime. Absolutely. Why can't you do that with an accountant? And you will have to, because why are you taking 45 minutes out of your day to drive around to that physical office when you can just pull over to the side of the road, put your phone up, and talk about it? Just tune everything all out. Now you're talking to an accountant, and you know the numbers. You can flip through some stuff and get some key information, and you make that decision. Bam, you're back out on the road again. That is a huge time saver. And the entire trucking industry has to absorb a completely different mindset. There's a competitor, I won't say who it is, but there's a competitor in Ontario that, about 4 or 5 years ago, he had 3 or 4 offices, and now he has like 17, 19 offices, and everybody says, oh, look at him grow, look at him grow, look at him grow. And one guy says, well, what do you think about that competitor? I says, he's on the wrong business model. Because all of a sudden, once people say, hey, wait a minute, I can do this for a third less price for this guy over here. Now, all I have is my phone in front of me, and so my costs are way down. I don't have to go to these physical locations. I save time. I save money. Then what's going to happen to that guy with the business model? He's got 17 or 18 locations. He pays rent, heating, hydro on each one of those locations. He has physical people sitting there waiting for people to come to his door. And what's going to happen? Nobody's coming to his door. less and less and less and less.
2020 changed that whole concept.
Yeah.
And it's really turned.
Yeah.
Our company is strictly digital.
Yeah.
Everything is online. We have printers in the truck.
The entire industry
They have
is
no
moving
overhead for office space.
Yeah.
None.
Why should there be? Because it's you're dealing with information, you know, and that's where I'm not worried at all about that guy. I to a certain degree I'm worried because he's going to lose a lot of money when his market share shrinks. Are there people? I had a guy probably about 2 months ago in my office, and he complained that he says, "Listen, I don't like this." Virtual office. I want face to face and stuff like this. Yes, I understand face to face. The only thing is, it's going to cost you. You want to go face to face, you're going to have to pay for it. And it's all in the mind whether you're going to get the value for it.
Would you not be able to function with your people at home?
At home, yes. Ultimately, here's where what we're working on right now. The vast majority of the debit and credit entries into the accounting program that creates your income statement and balance sheet eventually will all be, or most of it will be done by artificial intelligence, okay? Just machine learning stuff, okay? And some people might be afraid of that, but realistically, it's the simplest thing that is being done. And what a client is really looking for is once you have the balance sheet and income statement in front of you, what does that actually impact you? What are your taxes on there? How do you do this and what do you do that? How do you tweak this? How do you tweak that? The actual consulting for taxes and the consulting for your business, that's the value. That's what you're looking for in an accountant, is the real value, not the debits and credits. Anybody can do those debits and credits. Let's get a machine to do it because it's almost the no-brainer. It's the guy in the holding the steering wheel down the highway. That's what you would relegate to a machine to go ahead and do that. But what you want is it time now to rebuild my engine or buy a new truck? Should I do this or should I do that? How should I, RSPs? What should I do? The real consulting to gain real value from an accountant, and the actual filing of your taxes. There's only about 18 to 20 different questions that you have to answer, and once those are answered, there's not really much of a variation in it. Like if you take a look at even a company like H&R Block, there is going to come a point in time in the next even 15 years where H&R Block is completely annihilated by AI because it's not very difficult. Everybody thinks it's difficult to do it, but the vast majority of people, you have a T4. And if the AI knows all of your personal things, what you're married, how many kids you have, what do you do, what are your charitable donations, what are your RSPs, what are your, a whole bunch of questions all the way through. Once all of those questions are answered, well then there's no variation. There is no, you can't negotiate and say, I want to pay less in taxes. No, these are the parameters.
Yeah.
You hit the send button and you are done like bread. And so it's going to change. All of these things are going to change, and it's better to be ahead of the curve. And we have to understand that too. First of all, like none of the things that I'm talking about right now is probably going to be fully implemented for a couple of years yet here at our firm. But I'm wrestling with it right now. No different. Like I used to wrestle with opening another physical office somewhere. And sometimes I'm even got that brick and mortar kind of, another physical location is what I'd really, no, I have to hold back and I say, that's not where the industry is going.
Right.
The entire trucking industry is going digital. And if you got detailed work that you are talking to your dispatcher about, I mean, that level of intimacy that, okay, this is my business going on like this, you're okay with doing it over the phone now. Well, you can do that just as easily with your accountant or your tax consultant or whatever you do. It is a leap. But and everybody has to learn that. I had a guy in my office just 5 days ago, and he says, Robert, my thumbs are too big. I don't know about smartphones. And he brought his paperwork in, and we spent a week scanning all of that stuff in, and the like. But so there are going to be a handful of people that will just refuse to do anything but paper.
Yeah.
And there will be there, but there will be less and less and less and less and less. Yeah. And it was even a little bit amusing talking to him. I said, "Do you talk to your wife on the phone, like FaceTime?" Yeah, I do that. I said, "Someday, why can't you talk to that?" Oh, I guess so. Yeah. It's within us.
Your mindset has to be that way. That you're open to change. I like the saying. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional.
Yeah.
If you're not if I always tell Kathy this, she hates computers. I've said it before, but she just despises them. But I keep telling her, I said, if we don't grow with it, we're not going to catch up.
Yeah.
It's going too fast.
Yeah.
I said, I get a brain cramp too. I don't necessarily like learning either.
No.
I mean, but there are things that we have to learn, and we have to keep up. Because in the trucking industry, you don't need to know a lot of like what you do with computers. We don't need that. No. We don't use that.
Right.
And at home, we don't even have a computer.
Yeah.
If it can't be done on the phone, then it can't be done. Like that.
Well, there's amazing things that you can do on phone.
Everything is on the phone. Like we don't have a computer at home.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the vast majority of trucking companies use programs like ScanSnap or something like that, where you take pictures of the bill of ladings and you send them.
We use Scan.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different programs for that, but and they are primarily digital in a lot of stuff that we're doing, and we just have to be more and more comfortable with digital, like and different types of digital. A lot of people think that emails are digital. Not really. Yes, they are, and not, but technically not. We went digital. We called it digital in 2019, and everybody got an email address, and people sent it, and that's how we do it. But there's problems with emails. First of all, emails is not secure. We had some clients, for instance, didn't like the system. And so they gave us a Dropbox, so it's encrypted, and we can bring, we can take their stuff from the Dropbox electronically and stuff like that. And I understand that, and they were just afraid of the insecurity of an email, because if email is sent, anybody can jump in there and copy it.
Oh, really?
It is the most insecure thing out there. So that's why we went with our own app, and now it's encrypted, basically from your phone or your home computer straight to our server, and it's instant. Where we were just talking before, you do something and click and okay. 5 seconds later, the workstation has it there or whatever. That's encrypted. It's called end-to-end encryption, where from the phone to our server is it completely. You can't hijack that. It's not. It's not accessible. Okay. In 99.9% of the time, it's not accessible. There are some military grade stuff that basically means. All digital is not. They can access to all digital, but nobody has access to that military grade stuff. But anyway, I digress. End-to-end encryption is safe, and that's where we move. It solved a whole bunch of other problems with emails because about 3 to 5% of all emails can't be read and stuff like this. So now we have end-to-end encryption. And really we are actually completely digital in that regards. Like, and that's where the future is. That's what it is, and it's safe, and I don't know how else to say it, but it's taken us about 8 years to get to where we are technologically. We've had to go through, I think it's 4 levels of development, and we're not completely at the 4th level yet. There's one thing that sometime in January of 2025 we'll have the last little bit moved over to our platform or so. But once it's moved over, there's unbelievable amount of things that we're done. But that's where the entire industry is going. That's
the whole world is going on.
Yeah, and we just have to be adjusting.
It's not a huge mental leap to actually realize that the bank has all your financial statements, okay, and the company you work for have all the financial statements that are necessary. If all they need to do is figure out one little cooperation to send it to you, you don't even have to process anything. You just run it through your AI, and it has everything right there. Yeah, just 2 downloads and send it to CRA, and then you're done.
Yeah, it's. In my opinion, is I call our a portion of our technology EDM. It's I call it E-EM. It's encrypted direct messaging, and that's a concept that you know how if you go to your doctor, you're in your own room, and you have a private conversation with that. It's direct messaging. Okay, and it's also encrypted because nobody else is listening in. You got 4 walls, and so be it. That's how every business person should be looking at their accountant. They should have an encrypted, a private environment where you can talk directly about your own business, and nobody else has any access to it. Right now, emails are like that. If you physically go to somebody's office in a strip mall or something like that, and your documents are all there, it's not. It wouldn't be classified as encrypted. It's not isolated to just between your consultant and yourself. Because now you have physical paper at somebody's, and somebody can steal that, or like very rare that it would happen. But in an environment where you are private with a consultant, that's how all businesses should view the relationship they want to have with their accountant, and as opposed to physically going to talk to someone. And that's a shift. Some people are just loving it. We have brand new clients that come in and say, "Oh man, I came here because of the technology you guys are using. We're encrypted end to end. We're just fabulous. It's completely private, and we're isolated." Hacking is not really a problem, though we've had people try to hack or whatever. We had an interesting situation it was about a year and a half to 2 years ago. We had somebody hacking our server, okay, and we get notified almost immediately, and the guy, our guy, he noticed it right away. He saw what was going on. First of all, he stopped what was going on. It was an automated program that was copying stuff, and he saw where it was actually being put into. So not only did he stop it, but he actually went into the server where it was going in to, and he deleted all the stuff that he had taken out of there. Okay.
Oh wow.
And then he went into the guy's server and he looked at everything that this guy had. He had an account at a a data clearinghouse. It's be like not a data clearinghouse. It's where they rent space on a computer in whatever, San Francisco, all around the world, wherever it is. Okay, and he saw that they had an account at this with this company. So he goes into this guy who's hacking him, and he multiplies the space that this guy was renting. So he basically quadrupled the guy's cost. And he's spending the hacker's money. Okay, and he did a whole bunch of things, and he left a message, and he says, "Don't ever try this again," or whatever it is, like this, and then he left. That was a funny situation, and everybody says, "Oh my goodness, are there hackers?" Yes, there are hackers.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's several major things about hacking that people have to understand. Number one, hackers mostly enter in through and they target Microsoft products. This I'm not exactly sure how this guy got in because we don't use Microsoft products 99% of the time. They may have come through the one. Actually, I should have asked how they got in, but anyway, so Microsoft, if an accounting firm or any firm, law firm, whatever it is, uses Microsoft, hackers and thieves and stuff like this, they specialize in Microsoft because Microsoft, if everybody uses it, it's the easiest to know where the kinks are. Okay, but because we don't use Microsoft, we have way less people trying to hack us. In that, so that's the first negative thing that we're well protected at. The second thing, though, is that the information that we store is you have to make the assumption that it's open. Everybody sees that anyway. Everybody sees your business account. Everybody sees your credit card number. What they don't see is the number on the back and get the authorization and stuff like that. Okay, but you give that that information out to any accountant and like if somebody in a strip mall uses Office 365 and they're storing a whole bunch of things for you on there, they're much more susceptible to hacking and identity theft. But even if somebody steals that identity, it's not valuable to the people who steal it because they have to have. It's a lot of work to find that number in the back. It's a lot of work to get your identity and there's certain stuff that makes it much easier for them to use identity theft, and the stuff that we store, it's stuff that's not valuable to them. Like my stuff is on the same server that our clients' stuff is, and it's not a huge factor to me. Yes, we have security, and yes, there's a whole bunch of things that we have, but it's really, identity theft is not nearly as bad as if people are using the older style technology or Microsoft stuff and stuff like this. We are as safe as any bank. Like our encrypted stuff is the same as any chartered bank or credit union or anything like this. Our systems are identical. So if you worry about the bank, then yeah, you're going to worry about us too, because we all use basically the same stuff. There's stuff that we can make it even more safe. There's a fine line. It'd be a little bit more of a hassle if every time you tried to get onto the website to do your non-taxable benefits, you have to wait for a code to come on your phone and then press it in and stuff like that. It's a little bit more of a that is a shouldn't say a two-party authentication. The two-device authentication. I can't remember what the word is on there, but there's two different. There's two things that you have to do in order to get in. But safety and security is generally not a huge issue, especially with what we all deal with and stuff like that. But anyway, that's. Well, I didn't figure we were going to talk about technology this morning, but it's.
And it wasn't about voting machines.
And it wasn't about voting machines. Did you hear what Elon Musk said? Basically, he said, if you want fair elections, they have to be paper.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, because he says he was 11 years old and he could hack into those voting machines.
Wow.
When he was 11, he could. Yeah. So he says anybody can do it.
Well, Mike Lindell pushed that for 4 years, that paper ballot thing.
Yeah. Well, what I also heard that to do a proper watermarked paper ballot with another level of security, something like that, is 80% cheaper than what they're doing right now.
All right.
Like they could knock 75% of the cost of a vote just by going paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Canada needs to go paper next time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they should, I think. You heard what the story about Venezuela, right? Where they had those elections.
Yeah.
Like the dictator was forced to do an election, right? And so there was something somewhere around 250, 350 locations where people could vote, probably much more than that, but whatever the number was. And the opposition to the dictator had people at every location getting the tally from every single one of those locations.
Oh, a second.
And they took pictures of that tally for each one, and then they sent it and they published it on a website. So
online.
It was completely transparent.
Yeah.
And they got something of 75, 85, whatever percentage of all of the locations, and it clearly showed that the dictator did not win, but this other guy got 60, 65% of the vote, and the other guy got... And then the dictator says, no, I won. And so he's still there as the dictator, okay? So just because you know exactly, like a fair election was that other guy won, the dictator still has a gun. Yeah. So...
Yeah, but there's more people with guns than one.
In Venezuela, I mean, he's got the backing of the army. Now, that's going to be interesting to see when he falls. It's not a matter of if; it's when he falls, because Trump's not going to put up with a falsification. And what I admire most of anything about Venezuela is the opposition party knew that they were guys who were going to cheat, so they got hundreds of people to go out to verify it. And then put it on public, make that air everything. Yeah. This is the truth. This is actually what happens, and it's obvious then that the other guy's lying. I think it was awesome. Yeah. That is what a true democracy is. Even though the guy's still there as a dictator, whatever, everybody knows. And I think the same thing it would be like that if they had an election in Iran. If Iran would have free elections, he would be gone. Like the dictators, I don't know of anybody who would actually vote for a dictator. No, but
especially after what they've been through. Like with Venezuela, when you saw them, how that country fell, went into poverty in short order,
and they're unbelievably wealthy. Unbelievably wealthy.
Yeah, but it all stays at the top. The poor people at the bottom are the ones that are dying.
There is a huge movement in the world globally that everybody wants freedom, getting away from the dictator, getting away from the bureaucracy, getting away from special interest groups or whatever it is that the particular country is abusing in there, and people want freedom. Ooey-dooey. And if United States can lead that in the world. Just by example, everybody else is just loving it, kind of a thing. But I don't know. I'm quite encouraged as to what could happen in the next 10 to 15 years.
Yes, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, even though Trump might only be in there for 4 years, maybe even less than that. Depends. I don't know.
Well, I hope not.
He keeps eating McDonald's, you know.
Yeah.
That'll affect it sooner or later.
Well, once he gets in office, he's not going to eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well,
much.
maybe
He doesn't have to subsidize his income at McDonald's.
No.
I'm working at McDonald's. Well, maybe.
That was an amazing. Election. Like all of the stuff that he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
The garbage truck.
Yeah, that was a big one for him.
That was hilarious.
That was a big one for him.
Totally hilarious.
It's amazing. You look at his strategies, and you can't say that he had that all along, but his mind is promoting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey,
He's a
we can do this.
salesman.
A salesman. Yeah, that's he can take anything. Yeah, and that's why he didn't need the money to
win.
to win, because they'd do something, and then then he'd use everybody else's money to promote himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's
Like
a
that.
salesman. Like I've read his books, like a couple of them. He's actually got a dozen. Actually, there's only two that are really good. They're the Art of the Deal and the Art of Survival. I think those two books are excellent books.
Mm-hmm.
And he is an incredible salesperson.
Yeah.
Like, and some people call that lying. You know what? You go to any salesman, and they're going to minimize some things and maximize the other.
Mm-hmm.
Is that lying? It depends how much you push it, right?
Yeah.
I remember the story of one realtor who walked into a house and there was a tile in the middle of the kitchen that was cracked, and the realtor went straight into the kitchen, stood on that tile, and did all of his talking from that tile. So the people's eyes were not on where his feet were, you know. Is that lying? Technically not, but salesmen are salesmen, and that's what their job is, to procure a sale.
I really admire salesmen, because the world needs salesmen. There's no doubt about it. But I don't have too many salesman friends. Because I know, well, for one, I know there's been times where I remember one instance. My wife doesn't like it much, but I went in to a sport utility shop, and I allowed the salesman to sell me a quad. And I wasn't going in there. But I knew what I wanted. I had no intention of buying. But he says, "You know what? Here, let's just sign this up. See if you apply. See if you can get a loan. You don't have to buy it. Just
That's
just like
entrapment.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what? I realized not in years later. I realized, you know what? I have to. I sold myself.
Yeah.
He didn't sell me. There was something that I wanted, and I allowed him to sell me. So next, like, it's just like McDonald's. If you know that if you go in there, you're gonna have the big meal, and that it's not gonna feel good. I drive past. I don't go in there. So I don't do a lot of shopping until I know what I need.
I love leading on salesmen.
Oh,
I love that. I make those guys eat them out of my hand. They think they got a sale. You know what? I'm going to think about this, and then I'll get. And just.
Yeah.
I love that.
Emotionally, I can't handle that. I hate salesmen. I can't stand salesmen.
I love them.
Yeah?
Just butter up to these guys.
Yeah.
Just don't sign any paper.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. When's the last time you've been in a mall?
I don't know, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
I went into a mall the first time about a month ago. First time in probably, well, it's way before COVID.
I had never been.
Oh,
in
wow.
I just don't like shopping. I really do not like shopping at all. I have to have something in my mind to go and get before I'll go shopping.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like that environment.
I went in there because I was looking for something that I needed, and
Well, that'd be the
No, I don't mind going walking in malls like that.
Oh, really?
The people, my wife and I go there and we just watch people too. That's
fun.
that's weird, you know.
I can shop like crazy.
No,
But
really?
I like going in there, and I walk fairly slow, but I see all I watch for their change in displays, okay? Because that's where they want to sell you, and I can stand outside the store and not have to deal with anyone. But what they display, a lot of times they try and hook you with new things, and I like seeing the new things and the new trends, and I can walk past and evaluate, and later, oh, you know what? I put things together in my head instead of going in and talking, letting them sell me. Okay, my wife, it drives her crazy because she wants to get in and get out and do her thing, and doesn't want to deal with
your
it.
wife hunts.
Yes, she does. Yeah,
She doesn't shop.
yeah. No,
My wife hunts too. She doesn't like malls.
No?
She doesn't like shopping.
Yeah, I only hunt. That's
I don't like that. Then I'm not going there.
really.
No, no. If I'm going to a mall, I'm going there for a reason.
If I'm in and out in less than 8 minutes, I have a very successful.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I will very often. I'll walk into a store, and if there's something that I like that I've been looking for, I'll even try it on.
Yeah.
But then put it back.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then walk out of the store.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go down the street.
Yep.
And if you, Joyce Meyer taught us that.
Yeah.
If you like something, put it back.
Yeah.
Walk away. If the feeling doesn't go away, go back.
Yeah.
I did that with a pair of shoes in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
There was a pair of shoes. I really liked those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried them on. They were so comfortable. And I thought, you know what? Joyce Meyer says, walk away.
Yeah.
Kathy says, if you want to buy the shoes, buy them. And they were reasonably priced.
Yeah.
And I walked away. We went down the street, went for a walk, and went for coffee. And then we went back. I said, you know what? I'm going to go back and buy those shoes. She said, okay, let's go. Store was closed.
Yes.
I said, yes.
I think I would be different there. That would bother me when I find something that I like. I like the idea of walking out, taking a breath, and then coming back. And yes, now this is a solid purchase. It's not spontaneous.
Yep.
It's not influenced by anything.
Yep.
Because there has been a few times where my wife and I have said, you know what, let's think about it. We'll come back. And I realize, and it's not there, or whatever, it didn't end up happening. And I realized over the next couple months, my head goes back. No, that should have happened. That should have happened. That should have happened.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a point. It's a thing my wife and I are working out too. You know, she's hunt, get it out now. That's it. Whereas I'm looking at and always contemplate. Okay, how does this work? But when I find something, you don't hesitate. You commit. You know,
I hesitate every time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Every
You know, I
time.
despise shopping so much. I go out of my way to make sure I don't shop. But what that means is I'll go to Costco
Yeah.
and I will buy
40
40 pair of socks.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring them in. I throw all my socks out, and I just have one pair of socks.
Yeah.
That they're all identical.
Yeah, that I do too.
And then underwear, all the same.
Yeah.
I have 6 or 7 pair of pants.
Yeah.
And 4 varieties of shirts. There's just a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Everything is identical. And then I wake up in the morning and I only have 3 or 4 choices. I don't. I don't need anything more
Right.
because it aggravates me to think too much about stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a micro thinker. I think way too much about things. And I just got to stop this. And so I would love it if everybody wore the same outfit. Everybody had coveralls
gross.
on. Just different
I have
colors.
like 6 different shirts in the truck.
Oh, really?
Kathy says, what do you need all these shirts in here for? Because it says when we get to summer, then I have a choice.
Yes.
I don't want a choice.
I like choices. Yes.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want a choice.
Like my closet is full of shirts
Yeah.
And I'll sometimes wear one 5 times, and then I'll never wear it again.
Yeah.
But
So you guys like choices?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And yet you're married. That your wife always makes the choice for you.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, goodness.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've always been the spender.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy's a miser, and so she keeps me from spending, and I increase her. Like I pull her out of her box to spend some money, because she would never spend a dime. She'd buy exactly what she needs, and that's it. Give me a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt, and she's happy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
my
I
style.
don't like a woman like that.
No.
She comes from the farm, and
My
I
wife
like
does
that.
too, yeah.
But I like women in long black dresses, earrings that sparkle and shine.
Okay.
I love a woman that dresses
what?
nice, and
Yeah.
yeah. I bought her an outfit a little while ago. Well, it's a couple of months ago. Last time we were in the mall. And no, it wasn't the last time. No, it was the time before. But anyway, I wanted her to buy an outfit, and I saw this lady somewhere, and I loved what she wore. It looked so nice on her, and so I measured a statue, and look at the hair color and her tone of skin, and then the clothes. And I said, you know what? I got this specific pair of pants that I am looking for today, and we're going to find them. And we went through that mall.
So you do hunt?
Yes. I was looking for those specific, and I found them.
Yeah.
And then we matched the shirt and another top with that. I mean, it was exactly the same pants.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it cost me a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But when she went to church that next Sunday, she wore that.
Yeah.
I mean, knocked me dead.
Yeah. Oh no!
I did that when we first got married for the first 4, 5, 6 years or something like that. But it was not fun for my wife, because I had this picture in my mind.
Yeah.
And we didn't do any variation of that picture. And I'm so driven for particular, like I'm a goal-oriented person, and unfortunately I don't deviate from that goal, you know.
With Kathy,
she said it's not fun at all.
With Kathy, I have found out she has her style that she likes, but I have a way now already of pulling her away from that, and so I try to paint a picture, a different picture, and it's amazing. Women are not visual.
No.
My wife is. My wife is visual. I'm not as visual as she is. I'm very honest. But if I can get her away from what she's seeing and get her to see another picture, once she sees the picture, she will move. And sometimes I have to be a little manipulative to do that. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I will do that, or whatever it takes. Because like I say, give her a pair of sweatshirt and a pair of jeans, she's good.
Yeah.
But I like women to...
You know what?
Yeah.
Me and you are a lot alike. I love clothes shopping for my wife, with my wife.
Yeah.
And she's not a shopper that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Kathy isn't either.
I like to see her dressed. Like she looks good in anything and everything, right? But no, to spend a little bit of money. The problem is it takes. I hunt real slow. Try this on. Yeah. Now try this on.
That's what I'm saying.
Try this.
You try to get them away from their thinking or what they see. Yeah.
I'd rather have a root canal. No anesthetic. Just pull the
drill.
Oh, good.
Oh, see, I've never been able to figure that out. Like Gerald, he will visualize, or Brittany will go shopping.
Yeah.
And then she'll tell Gerald what's there, and he will just go in, buy them, and out.
Yeah.
I can't understand how guys can't take their women shopping.
Well, I did. Like I said, when the first 5 years, I did it.
Yeah.
But
she didn't like what you...
She didn't like the drive that I had, the focus.
Okay.
And I said, okay, now you got to find, what was it? like it was a certain hat, and we got to run. No, I think that I seen it over there, and we're running from one place to. She was not
no. That's not a woman thing.
Yeah,
I was hunting.
I can leave Kathy in a store. It doesn't matter if it's a grocery store or a clothing store. I can come back half an hour later. She's still there.
Oh yeah,
because she can't make up her mind.
Oh goodness sakes!
And so I come in and I say, hey, you know what? Have you tried this? Have you put this together?
Yeah.
I should be working in a women's clothing store. I just love that. I love matching stuff together.
Melinda tells me that all the time. I've got a better stuff. But the thing is, when I'm walking through the mall, okay, my eyes are like this on everything.
Yeah.
Scanning color, style, texture, this. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, that would be nice with that one. Oh yeah. Okay. And then shoes, and then boots, and then scarves, and I do know that hats. Melinda does not wear hats.
Okay.
She looks good in them, but nope.
Oh my goodness sakes!
So
either you guys or I need therapy.
You need to, well, no, it's a personality thing. But do you know what would turn your wife on the most?
Yeah,
is
if I clean up after myself.
That too. That you should do anyway. But
which podcast is this?
This is for the women.
Why?
No, if you would take your wife to a mall and just saunter against your grain, your wife would come alive and you'd get laid that night.
Well,
which podcast was this?
Okay, now that you said that, now I have a goal, and now I would put on my sauntering pants. I don't know.
No, you dress properly.
No, I'm just.
You don't wear.
I am so goal oriented.
You don't wear a make your miles count jacket.
No,
and or shirt.
Yeah.
You dress properly and take her out.
Yeah.
That girl of yours would.
You know what? The bigger thing is you find out what she likes, and then just stretch the style just slightly from there.
Yep.
Okay. Can I? Okay. I'm going to reserve the option to cut this out. Okay.
I thought book a room in Winkler.
No, I'm gonna, if this is too much, I'm going to say.
Well, opposites attract. Like, you can't be the same personality. If you were same personality, that'd be boring.
Yeah.
One of you is irrelevant then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
It's opposites attract.
Yeah.
And but you know what? I tell so many kids that get engaged. I tell them the same thing. I don't probably shared this story, but the girl at the bank, I was at the bank and she's just flattering her ring. Like everything she does, she makes sure that ring is exposed, right? So whatever, I didn't pay attention to it. I saw it, but I didn't pay attention to it. And so when we were done, I said to her, is that an engagement ring? Yes, she says. I'm taking you, little honey.
Yeah.
And I says,
noticed.
I says, so when are you getting married? So she told me. And then I says to her, I said, can I give you a word of advice? She said, sure. And now everybody else is listening. And I says, remember one thing when you get married that will save your marriage for 50 years. I said, do you remember what attracted you to your boyfriend? She said, yeah. I said, always build that. Because I says, what happens when a couple gets married, the very thing that attracted them to each other, they later try to destroy the rest of their marriage. And I said, that's what breaks the marriage apart. And she says, why would people do that? I said, because opposites attract, then they attack. And I said, so remember, what drew you to your husband or to your boyfriend, always build that. And a girl a couple of tills down, she's dealing with a customer. She said, that's good advice.
Yeah.
And you know what? I told a couple that just this summer. We were invited to their wedding, and we were the only friends from their friends that were invited. And I told them the same thing. And you know what? That girl, I'd never met her before. But that girl, now when sometimes they come to their parents and we're there too, she says, you know what? of the whole wedding, she said, what you said to us, it just so echoes. I can't forget that. She said, that's such good advice. But it's true.
Yeah.
And so I was just listening when you were saying this. For the first 5 years, you did that, but then you quit.
She didn't like it either.
But you didn't find out why.
Yeah.
You railroaded through, and you can't do that.
I'll ask her if she wants to go shopping.
No, you don't.
Oh.
No, you don't ask her. You do all the detail work, and then you carry it out. Say, honey, you want to go for a ride?
I'm not sure whether that would work. I will. I'm not. She doesn't like to spend. She doesn't like fancy clothes or.
It doesn't matter, but she likes something.
Well,
and I know.
Then it would have to be something other than clothes, because she
take her to a kitchen shop or
that would be it.
Yeah. Some place.
That would be good.
But you know what? I never tell Kathy, like we can. I say, hey, let's go to the city. Let's go bum around. Okay, so we go to the city. We bum around. But I have an agenda.
Oh.
And so I said, hey, let's go into the mall. Oh, she said, well, I don't really need anything. We're here anyway. Let's grab a coffee and we'll just walk through. And then it just leads one thing to another.
Yeah.
So if I tell Kathy, we're going clothes shopping for you today, she'd say no.
Call me when you're home.
Correct. She will not leave the house.
Yeah.
She won't leave the house. You have to figure out how to do it to keep her open. If she closes, and for me to fly through a mall and look for something, like just tearing through the mall, she will immediately say, you know what, I don't want to do this today. And I'm the one that spoiled that.
Yeah.
She was now, it's like foreplay. If you don't have good foreplay, the sex is not as good. So there's a leading up to the event, always. And women are different, and maybe because me and Dad are a little bit more, we have a little more feminine than you, feminine side than you. Nothing against you.
I hide my femininity a lot.
You shouldn't. My son-in-law thinks I'm weird.
My wife gets almost everything online. We don't shop anymore other than online. She doesn't.
She will drop hints to you. Kathy does all the time, like not purposely, but now she said the other day she's looking at her stove.
You're saying my wife drops hints?
Yes, she does. You're not hearing it.
Holy cow! You're not blind and deaf.
Yeah, you're not hearing it. The other day we were doing devotions, before this last trip. We're sitting there having devotions, and she's looking at her stove, and I've been wanting to buy her a stove, like a stainless steel. I bought her a beautiful stainless steel stove when we were still in town. It was a gas stove. We don't have gas now, but they make electric ones like that too. I bought her a nice stainless steel fridge and a dishwasher, but the stove is white, and I have hated it from the day we moved there, but she won't let me buy one. The other day we're sitting there, and she's looking at her stove, and she said, you know what I would really like? And I said, what's that? She said, they make a 2-door oven with an air fryer. So you can use the top for an oven and the bottom for an air fryer. Or, I don't know, she explained it to me. I don't really know. So anyway, so whatever, I just heard her say this, and I never thought nothing of it. And yesterday, we were at Costco. We had to go pick up a coffee for the road. And the first thing she did is she went to the ovens.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, oh, crap. This is going to be an expensive Christmas. And I said, honey, they're not going to have that oven here. You're going to have to go somewhere else. And so now I'm hunting for a stove like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what those things cost. I have no idea. I don't really want to buy one now. I don't whatever. But I want to buy her that for Christmas. That girl, like when she they drop hints like that, and you pick up on it. Yeah. We went to a marriage thing. Oh, we've gone to lots of marriage things, but this one particular one, they were talking about exactly about this: the husband dropping spouses or dropping hints, vice versa, and listen for them, watch for them. If you ask them what they want for Christmas, they won't tell you. But they will before Christmas already, a couple of months, they will already begin to drop notes. And so you have to listen. And then you just buy that. And then when you buy that, what she was mentioning, it can be the littlest thing. It can be a knife set. But with Christmas, when she opens that, she's just in awe. Because I listened to her heart.
Well, the only thing that I can think of that Diane dropped hints on is she wants all of the weeping willows in our backyard trimmed this winter. That's work, you know.
Not now.
No, yeah.
No, now it's easy because there's no leaves.
Yeah, I know. But she was. That's what I'm. This evening or this afternoon, that's what I'm.
You know what?
For.
The last time I was at your place, I was looking at your back door and I'm going, holy smokes! I'd like to go and trim that because both those weeping willows look sad. Have you seen?
They're supposed to look sad. They're weeping.
No,
yeah. Okay, but have you seen mom and dad's in their backyard? That's what a weeping willow should do.
We did a lot of trimming.
We have ours trimmed about that high.
Yeah,
and then they grow faster.
Yeah,
and then they just go like this.
Mom and dad, we've got theirs trimmed to about 6 to 7 feet.
Wow!
And that has popped up. It's a huge umbrella. You go underneath there, and it's amazing. It can rain for a long time before it gets underneath there.
I know. You almost have to water grass under there.
Yeah.
Or water the tree.
Yeah.
Like I remember we were doing some trimming on our driveway there. Well, one of our willows there. Yeah. It is completely dead. It was like a hockey stick on the thing, and it was there for a whole year. I said, okay, forget it. Yeah. Should I pull it out? No, I'll leave it in there. And I planted another one right next to it, probably about 2 feet away or something like that, and filled in the spot. Well, now that hockey stick that was there, I mean, it's almost the same size as the one that I planted to replace it. There's an amazing resilience sometimes. Sometimes it dies, and sometimes it's just amazing.
All that stuff we pruned this year. I told Melinda, I said, you know what, next year you're going to go into that water hole where we threw it, and there's going to be tons of trees that you can plant everywhere. Those willows you can drain your swamp in the back if you plant all of those willows.
We should send them to the States. Could drain the swamp.
That's going to happen here shortly.
Okay, you know what? We've been at it for a long time. This is a good talk. We rambled into 1,000 different topics. Great time. I enjoyed this. It's been a long time since we've since we talked. And other than that, have a great trip, and we'll see you next podcast.
Stay safe.
Thanks for stopping by Making Your Miles Count. For further Making Your Miles Count productions, call us at 877-987-9787 or download us at makingyourmilescount.com.